I'm gonna tell you some things that you need to hear. So before we start, the most important thing, obviously, regarding anything you do in your life, is your mindset. And that's the first lesson about this. It's the G mindset. We're going to learn something about ourselves, or learn something about how you view the world. Because in reality, how you view the world absolutely shapes how you react to the world, how you act in the world, how people view you. It's all down to how you view things. There are very few things in this life we actually have any control over. So when I talk about the G mindset, it's absolutely and utterly the most important thing. This is actually quite funny. A girl I was dating once said to me, "You remind me of RuPaul." And RuPaul is a famous drag queen, so it's not very good. I asked her why, and she said, "Because he has a saying. I always knew I was famous. I had to wait for the rest of the world to catch up." And she said, "You have the same mindset." She said this to me before I had nothing. Because I told everyone, I'm going to be world champion years before I even had a British title, before I even had an English title. I just started fighting and said, I'm the next world champion. And I just started saying it, but I said it with genuine conviction. I knew I would be the best. I genuinely knew I would be the best. You have to understand that in this world, everyone constantly tells you, do not be arrogant, do not have an ego. When I had my Twitter, I put my ego into overdrive because I found it entertaining. But people will constantly tell you not to talk in a way which is full of conviction. People do not like you to be arrogant and have an ego. This is the worst thing ever. Let me tell you a fact. The number one facet of the G mindset. Your life is never going to be worse if you walk through the world believing you are the best. You wake up, look in the mirror, and say, I'm the best. I am the man. There's no one on this planet who can do what I couldn't do if I put my mind to it. I don't care how good you are at the piano. If I decide to play the piano, I would be better than you. And I believe that. I do. You're going to meet other people thinking, yeah, well, I'm the man too. This guy's the man. He's making money. That's what's going to happen. So the first thing you can do for your G mindset is you need to start believing you are the man, even if you're not the man yet. Even before I was world champion, I knew I was going to be the man. So I didn't care, and I was happy to say that to anybody. When people called me arrogant, stupid, and deluded, I'd just sit there, look at them, and say, yeah, screw you. I'm going to be the man. And this is how, now when my life's kind of come full circle, it's interesting. I'll tell you a quick story. When I was about 21, I had a sales job. I had to drive to a sales meeting to try and sell some advertising. I had a really old, beat-up car. As I'm driving, I pull up next to this drop-top Aston Martin with a Swedish number plate. Some dude, about 30, with a hot blonde next to him. I remember looking at him, thinking, who the heck is this guy? Here I am with my broken car, on my way to do a job. I can't afford to fix my car. And this guy is from Sweden, driving in England, with a Swedish plate, hot girl, music pumping, on his way to have lunch. I thought, where did my life go wrong? I want to be like that guy. Now, I live in Romania. I drive around in my Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Ferrari, or Bentley, whichever one I decide to drive. They all have English number plates, and I always have a girlfriend. People look at me and give me the exact same look I gave that guy. People wonder, who is this guy from England who just drove here? I'm standing at the bus stop, about to go to work, and this guy's got $250,000 car and a hot girl, on his way to have lunch with me. I'm telling you to be angry. Anger is a fantastic force. Like I said, the world tells you not to be arrogant, not to be angry, but you're a full-grown man. It's perfectly fine for you to be pissed off. It's perfectly fine for you to look around at your life. Look at the girl you're with. Look at the house you live in. Look at the car you drive, and get pissed off. Say to yourself, I want a hotter partner. I want a better house. I want a faster car. There's nothing wrong with it. If you take that anger and direct it in the right direction, it can be powerful. This is the reason I stopped fighting. People ask, why did you stop fighting? It's because I fought and went through hell to get everything I now have. I had nothing when I started fighting. Now, I wake up in one of my 3 mansions, with one of my 7 supercars, with one of my 15 women. What do I need to fight for? People have different motivations. My motivation was that I was pissed off at the world. Now, I'm not as angry as I used to be, so I don't believe I'm as good a fighter as I used to be. So, the second thing about the G mindset. First, you have to believe you're the man. Second, you need to get angry about your situation. And third, and this is very important, nobody cares about you as much as you need to care about yourself. Even your parents, even your friends. Sure, there may be a few people who genuinely care about you, but nobody is going to come to your bed, drag you out, force you to work hard, get you a partner, buy you a Ferrari. Nobody is going to do that for you. You have to understand you are out here alone. Absolutely alone. And when you understand these 3 things, you start to see how a mindset comes together. Nobody's going to save you. You're on your own. It's totally down to you. If you're pissed off with your current situation and you want to change it, plus you believe you can do absolutely anything. This is how I thought at 18 years old. This is how I achieved so much in the short years. This is how I went from a nobody to a world-level athlete and a multimillionaire. Also, people confuse the two. Kickboxing is not boxing. I made across my entire career in kickboxing maybe about $700,000. I now have about 8 or 9 million. This was not made in kickboxing. This was made in other ventures. I have managed to be a world-level athlete and an extremely successful businessman at exactly the same time. Because at a very young age, when I had my prime resource of energy and power, 18, 19 years old, I understood those 3 tenets. I believed I could do anything. I was pissed off. I didn't have the life I wanted, and nobody else was going to give it to me. These are 3 things you need to understand. If any one of these elements is missing, you'll never have the right mindset. The G mindset will never formulate. All 3 are absolutely essential. And the sooner you get your act together, the sooner you start to panic and worry and be concerned that you're 24, 25 and you're not rich yet. There are 24 and 25-year-olds out there who got a contract for the NBA, or they won the lottery, or they're Instagram influencers with millions of followers. They're living a life you're not, and that needs to piss you off. You need to get concerned, get worried, realize you're running out of time. You need to get some urgency in your life. Put these 3 things together. It's absolutely essential. It's the beginning of the G mindset. When you have these 3 things totally down, I'll tell you what happens, at least what happened for me and my brother. You become a sayer. And what that means is, I made a pact to him that my word was unbreakable. Strength and honor. If I said something, I meant it. So I'd wake up in the morning, I'd say to my brother, I'm doing 1,000 press-ups today. Once I said it, once I spoke it, it became true. If I said I was going to do 1,000 press-ups, I'd do it because if I didn't, I'd feel guilty within myself that I was the kind of person who talked crap. Because G's don't talk crap. So, the 3 tenets we've already learned, and you've instilled these in your mind. You don't want to be the kind of person who talks crap. So if I woke up and told my brother, I'm going to train every day this week, I'm going to train for 2 hours a day. As soon as I said it, it's basically done. It's set in stone. If I say something, I'm going to do it. There's no way I'm going to say I'm going to make a statement and then not follow through because it's too hard. If I say I'm going to do 10,000 push-ups, I'm going to do it because I'm the kind of person who sticks to the words he says. And this is another thing you need to understand with the G mindset. Be very specific with what you say. Because if you instill your mindset correctly, and you start to just say things, just start saying things, then you hold yourself accountable. Say things you don't even think you want to do. Wake up and tell your friend or your mom or whoever, you know what? I'm going to do 1,000 push-ups today. Say it to people. They might say, no, you're not. So you reply, watch me. And then you have a choice. You're either going to succeed like a G, or you're going to quit because it's hard. What kind of man are you? That's the decision you need to make. Would you be the kind of man I was? I'd say something, and I'd stick to it. My brother said, "You become a saint." I used to train with my brother. He'd say, "Let's do 500. So I'd reply, "Let's do 2,000. He'd say, "Well, you've said it now, so we have to do it." Exactly, I said it. So now we have to do it. There is no surrender. We have to do it.